for showing out for our father. Um, he was a hard ass. So I, I'm seeing a lot more people than I expected. I'm not gonna lie, but he was a good father. Yes, he was hard on me. He was rough on me and Aiden, but we had our good memories and we had our good times. And towards the end, he struggled. It's no secret. Um, but one thing he never did was quit. He was a fighter, and no matter how much pain he was in, and no matter how hard he struggled, he never let you show it or let you see it. It's hard to find the words to like speak and say because there's really no more words. Me and my dad weren't that close these past couple of years, but with his passing, I can honestly say we have been closer than ever, and that's something I am honestly blessed and grateful for. I haven't talked to my dad in about 3 months. He was struggling. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and act like he was doing okay and he was living life, because it's not the truth. And one thing he did was tell the truth. So if he was here right now, he would tell you guys, if you're going through anything, you're struggling, you feel like you want to quit and you want to give up and you don't have anyone to talk to, that's not the case, because my dad was always a person to give you a shoulder to cry on. If you needed him, no matter what time of the night, he would be there. He'd give you the shirt off his back, the shoes off his feet. He'd do anything for you. And he'd yell at me right now and probably smack me in the head, watch me cry, but I just want to say thank you to the people that were in his life towards the end. Coach Jackson, I have no words will ever explain how grateful I am to have you in my life. You were my dad's best friend. No matter what the conversation was, no matter what was said, you were brought up. I mean, sometimes I got mad because I'm like, Dad, I just got a new job. You can ask about me. But he loved talking about you, and he was honored truly to be your best friend. Sylvia, me and Aiden are beyond blessed to have you as a stepmom. My dad loved you with all his heart, and he let us know every phone call. Some of our best memories with our father is when he was with you, and me and Aiden are forever your boys. You're forever our stepmama, and we love you. Braden, Ashton, I know this is hard on you guys as well. Your mom needs you guys more than ever right now. You guys got to be there for her. You guys are big now. Proud of you guys. You guys are handling it well. You're taking care of your mom. Everyone that came out from Sylvia's family, you guys showing out for us means more than ever. I mean, there's really no words. Aiden, I am beyond proud of the man you have become. I love you with all my heart, and at the end of every phone call, Dad would say, take care of your brother, because he can't take care of himself. And it's me and you, buddy. I got you to the end. I don't have to sit up here and preach to you because we have plenty of long talks. We've gotten so close these past few years, and it's something I'm beyond grateful for. And I love you, kid. I'm proud of you. You're a great man. I was excited to see what you're going to do regardless in life. Now I just know you're going to take off and you're going to make him proud. You were his greatest accomplishment. I'm proud of you, Aiden. I love you. Callista, Ryan, my amazing, beautiful, loving girlfriend. You are my backbone. You have supported me this whole trip. My dad loved you. We bought a dog recently. My dad used to talk about our kids all the time. I'm like, Dad, I'm 24, relax. But he got to experience life with our furry child, so it gives you a little sense of he got the experience with a grandkid, even though he couldn't keep up with him, but he stood there and looked good. I love you with all my heart. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for taking care of my brother, because God bless you. Mom, thank you for everything. I definitely don't have any words for you. Dad always told us that if a bear came in the crib, he definitely didn't worry because you were going to get in front of us and take it out. Thank you for being here for us and all the effort and love you have shown and given us. Larry, I don't know where you're at. My dad, when he struggled, his escape was work. He bragged about work. He was the hardest worker I've ever met. His work ethic is something that lives through me, that lives through Aiden, and it's something we both will always cherish. Larry, he talked about you nonstop. He was beyond blessed to have a boss like you. I think I speak for me and my brother when I say that we are beyond grateful that you took care of our dad, you looked after him, you gave him a friend. He loved the work too much. Towards the end, I would tell him, you don't have to work that much, you can sleep, you can relax, Dad. But he'd sleep in that damn office all night just to resolve a problem. That was his escape, and we're grateful that he had a good boss like you, and we really appreciate it. Tita, you are the last part of our dad that we have. I'm beyond blessed to have you. I'm so sorry that you have to go through this. It sucks, it's bittersweet. We've had plenty of conversations these past few months. There's really no words, Tita. You know, it sucks. We'll get through it. Me and Aiden are blessed to have you in our lives and have you and Russell, Cheyenne, Ralph, Miguel, have you guys all have our back. I want to see you guys more often, please. These are not the best circumstances. As much as I want to sit up here for 30 minutes, he's probably mad that I've taken this long. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming out. Seriously, it means a lot. It really means a lot. My dad was a good person. He was hard-headed, but he was a good person. He had a big heart. He lives through us. He's still here. I'm going to keep grinding, get back to it. He wouldn't want us to stop, so we're not going to give up. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
I'm not going to have a lot to say because as soon as I start talking about him, I can't talk anymore, so I'm sorry. He was the most positive person I ever knew in my life. And to tell you, if I had to hear it every day in work, how lucky he was to have met Sylvia, and how proud he was of his boys. Every minute that he spent with you guys was like heaven to him. And you're right when you say, the last year and a half has been tough for Adamis. And half the times he'd show up to work, and I'm like, what are you doing here? The man was in so much pain. And I loved him. And he loved you guys so much.
I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who's come out and showed their love and support and has been there with us every step of the way. I know we've all, select few of us knew this day was coming, as it came a little too early. I think, as hard as he was when we were younger, I think he mentally prepared us for a moment like this. And as, rough it is, he was a good man through all of it. Even though, we had some rough moments, he was such a good man through it all. Even, he would always make sure someone was good, going down the road, going to Walmart, going somewhere, going to the store. Even, he would always check up on somebody, always make sure someone was good. I remember one time we were walking into Walmart, and it was me, Ashton, and Sylvia. We were going in, and some lady was struggling to try to put something in, get her groceries in. And I remember we all started walking, and I remember I was talking to him, and I just started talking to myself. And I turned back around, and here he is having a whole conversation with some lady trying to put groceries in the car while I was mid-conversation with him. He just disappears. He always tried to do good and always tried to find the good in other people and everything else. And, I don't want to sit up here and make it all sappy. I just want to thank a few certain people. And Adamis, I want to start off with you. I couldn't ask for anyone else to be a big brother, be a father figure. We went through hell and back with him when we were younger, and for you to step up at such young of an age, to take me under your wing and treat me as your own, as your kid, and always provide and always make sure I never went without, regardless what it was. You did what he wished he could have done, and you fulfilled those shoes he wanted you to. I'm forever proud, forever thankful. I can't say enough words to really tell you how much I care and love you, and I'm thankful for you to make me to the man I am today. Sylvia, we had a few rough moments and everything else, me and you, we can say. And, your love for my dad is beyond out of this world. I can never thank you enough for all the times you've helped him, all the nights that you would come home late at work. You worked a double. You'd come home and still take care of him. You wouldn't get undressed. You wouldn't do nothing. You'd always make sure he was good. No matter what the case was, you always put him first. You always did what was best for him in the long run. And I'm forever thankful for you for putting up with all the BS and everything else he brought along. I can't thank you enough for any of that. Mama Don. Oh. I can't, Oh, sorry. It's been us three since we were big. It was the four of us. In the end, it's always just been us three. We always told ourselves it would just be us. And it's sad to say that it has come to this, and it is just us. But I can never be thankful. I can never thank you for all the nights I was losing my mind, didn't know who to turn to, didn't know who to get advice from, didn't know what step to take, didn't know where to do anything, lost my mind, wanting to throw everything away, give it all up. And you were there as that back support, whether I came in yelling or not. You were always there to comfort me and push me in the right direction. You always helped me take that next step in life. You really showed me what direction to go, and I will never forget that. I got one last story. Sorry. There was a time by the pool. Me and him would always argue about this truck, Sylvie, about this Tundra, always arguing about it. He always kept saying, he'd give it to me, whatever. I like to work for what I get. I don't like stuff handed down. And so we made for a compromise that he'd sell it to me for $1. I ain't never get to sell it to him or get to buy it off of him. So all I got to say is, here's Dad, here's your $1.
Okay, well, first off, the boys know me as Coach Jackson, but my name is Lewis. First time I met Adamis, I was coaching Pop Warner football over at Wilders Grove, and it was this little kid, smallest thing on the team, and I'm like, what? That was getting beat up. And I'm like, who is this kid? And it turned out to be little Adamis. But his heart was so big, and I'm like, how in the world this kid, where is he getting all his heart from to keep taking his pounding? And then over in the sideline, keep going, right? He just cussing. I'm like, what's this dude over here? Coming to find out it was his dad. I was like, okay. And then he was cussing at me. I was like, fussing at me about, hey, kid getting beat up. So eventually that led to him coming to coach with me. And I'm going to say that was the years that we coached together were the best years of my life. He would constantly call me in the middle of the day. I'm sitting there working. He's like, you see this play? I'm like, dude, I'm working. What are you talking about? And he would want to send me a video to watch. So I'm watching videos at work. And then he would want to call after work and talk about more football. Then he'd talk about it at practice. And I'm like, bro, we need to take a break from working. But he was like, no, we got to get better. And that first season, we weren't that good. I'll admit, we were terrible. But he didn't want to stop working, even during the off season. He wanted to still talk about football and what we could do to be better the next year. And to our luck, we were a lot better. But that developed a friendship. Aiden was born first, and then my daughter Courtney was in the same year. Donna and my ex were pregnant at the same time, and Aiden came first, and then Courtney, and so now we had the kids to talk about, And Aiden, when he started walking, that was like, okay, a little tornado running around. I'm like, good gracious, this kid got all the energy, and then he started learning, Taekwondo or Jiu-Jitsu. And then he was kicking everybody. I'm like, why in the world are you kicking me? I'm like, dude. But then he became so good at that, and that's all Adamis now started to talk about was Aiden, Adamis doing Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, and some other, what was it? Muay Thai? Yeah, all them things. I'm like, these kids learn how to fight people and beat them up for their. But he was proud of that, going to those events and the training you guys were doing, and then you want me to come over there and get beat up too by some little kids. I'm like, okay, whatever. There was never a time I could not call him with an issue or problem, and he would not stop what he was doing and talk about it or want to talk to me about it. If my heart was hurting about something, I'd call Adamis, and we would talk for hours, or I'd show up at the house. I remember when y'all were getting ready to get married, Sylvia. He calls me, and he's like, hey, we get ready to get married. I need you to come over to the courthouse. I'm like, okay. All right, what you want me to do? Now I got to stand up there and be a best man. He's like, oh, bring somebody with you too, because we need another witness. I just thought about that yesterday. I'm like, wait a minute, I remember that. He made me have to find somebody in my office to bring with me to be a witness at his wedding. But then, now I had Sylvia to see in my life. And then we had the boys, Ashley and Braden. He said, I need you to come down and go with me to Alabama. Alabama? What the hell am I doing in Alabama? I just need you to go with us. We drove, what was that, 16 hours? 12 hours? they drove, I slept. Because I told him, if I'm going, I'm sleeping the whole way, and that's what I did. And he did not bother me or nothing. But then I would come to the house a lot of times, just hang out with him and Sylvia, sit downstairs and watch. We'd watch boxing or wrestling, or we'd have to watch these stupid Dolphins play. Even when they were terrible, we still watched the Dolphins play. We had to watch the Dolphins. Okay, whatever. Then we watched the Heat play. I'm like, they still suck. But he wanted me to watch Miami Heat play. I said, okay, because of this, I will do that for you. You know, we all go through something in life. We all struggling, you know, with something in our lives. And the one thing that I want to just say to any and everybody, you know, if you're struggling, don't hesitate to reach out to somebody. Talk to somebody. You know, when I learned about his motorcycle accident, I was more devastated than anything. But he never told me about all the other stuff that was going on, because he remembered that I was still struggling, trying to deal with the loss of my dad. You know, because when my dad passed, he was the second person I called. And he showed up at the funeral. He sat with me the whole time, and he never wavered as a friend. But when he started struggling, that was one thing he didn't never call me and talk about. And I had to find that out on my own. Well, I found it out, but it was through his boys, because when I get a phone call from these two at any point in time, something's wrong. I need to perk up. And when they call me, yeah, I didn't answer the first time. However, I did pick up the phone when you called back. And when Aiden called me, I did. So I was talking. I remember that the last time I saw him, and I went to the house and I sat on the porch with him and talked, you know, and I could see that he was still struggling, but the one thing that he allowed me to do with him was to pray with him. I knew he was not a religious man, because he made that known to me several times, but at least he listened. He listened, and he said, "I love you, brother." He would never end a conversation without saying, "I love you, brother." He was the only brother I ever had. I don't have any biological brothers, but when he came into my life, it was like we were brothers from that point on. It hurts that I won't be able to call him anymore, or just go over and sit with him. But just like I've said to Sylvia, Aiden, Adamis, I'm always here for you guys. If you call me, I'm going to be there. Whether it's just to talk on the phone, I will do that. If you need me to come over, I will come over. Because I promised him that. Always in life, I told him, if anything ever happened to you, brother, I will be there for your family. And he always reciprocated with the same thing. If anything happens, I'll be there for your family. And I'm going to stand by that. I want to thank everybody that came out to show love to him and his family. You know, I see some familiar faces, you know, that we coached together, or they was with our team. I see Miss Tracy, Dee Dee, Junior, or Clifton, whatever you want to call yourself now. But thank you again, Sylvia, Donna, Aiden, Adamis. Thank you for sharing your father and your husband with me. Ashley, Braden, I appreciate you, young men. I'm always happy to see you. Meemaw, thank you. He always talked about Meemaw. Yep, he had me come over walk over to Meemaw's house to get some papers signed one day. I'm like, what in the world? Who we going to see? We going to see Meemaw. Who is Meemaw? I had never met her. And I always heard about her, but never met her. And then finally I got to meet her. But thank you. Thank you all. Thank you to his sister. Thank you for sharing your brother with me. I didn't get to meet you before now, but it was a pleasure knowing your brother. Thank you.
Okay. I'm normally a shy person, but I said I needed to get up here and let you know. And I'm crying because I know this hurt all too well. And the boys and Donna know that I know this hurt. So looking at them, I can't. People come into your life for seasons, right? So I haven't seen Adamis in several years, but I'm a former neighbor. I live directly across the street from him. He came into my life. Our kids were little. Our boys played together. They grew up. We watched them go trick-or-treating. I see my other neighbor back here. You know, we were a village. Adamis was a part of my village at one point. He was there when I probably needed my neighbors the most. I lost my husband. My kids were 5 and 7, and it still hurts. So I know that you're hurting. I know the boys are hurting. I know Donna is hurting. But he was there for me. He cut my grass, I think for about 2 years. I didn't even have to ask. I would come home, the grass was cut. I don't have family in the area, so he would be outside throwing the ball with my boys. He was a father figure. He definitely stepped in and filled a void that my kids had. And so I will forever be grateful. I can go on and on about the memories and the things he did for my kids. So this hurt us too. Even though I hadn't seen him, like I said, he was there when I needed my neighbors the most. Through the most difficult times in our lives. And so we will forever be grateful for all the things that he did. Like I said, the 2 years of no yard work, that was lovely. Didn't have to cut the grass. He entertained my kids. I would get a little break. They could go outside and play, and I could just kind of unwind, after work. So I really, really appreciate the time that we had with him. And I will forever be grateful for how he poured into my children. Thank you.
I'm Junior's sister, Dita, my husband, Russell, our youngest son, Cheyenne. I'll do my best. But Junior, I could tell you stories. Growing up, that was the first diaper I learned to change. And boy, did that boy drive me crazy. Everywhere I went, I had to take him with me like a tail. The one time I didn't, I come home, my dresser was it was white, but it had red lipstick all over it. That was the last time I did that. Then he's been a great brother to me. He's been a great uncle. I know he loved my nephews very much. I have high respect for Donna and Sylvia. I love you both. I don't have sisters. I was the only girl. And I have an older brother. But I thank you all for being here, for loving my brother through it all, his ups and downs. Zenny is a friend of his from, they were 11 years old, so she's part of our family. And she's been there helping with my mother when she passed on, and she helped a lot with my father before he moved up here. I just want to say that it's so nice to see people here for my brother and for our family. Thank you. Remember this, Junior was simple. Yes, he's a Miami Dolphin fan, so am I. But he had a lot in his heart. We argued, sometimes I wanted to kill him. In the last couple of months, I threatened so many times because he wouldn't answer my calls or my messages. But I know he was going through something. We did the family reunion in Puerto Rico, and we spread the ashes of our parents. I thought that that would help him. It helped me some. But here I am again with another family member gone. And this one is difficult because he was like a son too. He used to tell some of his friends I was his mom. When they asked me, I'm like, what? And two, buying him school supplies and he's selling it on the side. So told the kids too last night about another story that living with my parents in a townhome in Hialeah, I come down to get water and I'm looking out the window and I go, I know I parked my car in front of the house. And went upstairs and told my parents, somebody stole my car. My father went, Junior's not here. I go, well, let's call the cops. He goes, no. Turned off the lights. Junior comes in, turns on the light. Junior gets whipped. Then we come to find out, my poor older brother, he went to Vietnam and he came back not the same person, okay? And he goes, Tita, I parked the car here. And every morning when I go he would get up just to take Junior to school. The car's somewhere else. Well, Junior had been taking everybody's car in the house, and nobody knew. And he was 14. I forgot to tell you that. So the stories that you tell me and I hear are nothing compared to growing up with him. But I do want to say that I love him, I miss him. We're all going to miss him. But we all got to be strong together. My nephews, AD and Aiden, I love you as my own. I'm always going to be here. Yes, I'm in Orlando, but I'm here for you. Donna, Sylvia, thank you for loving and putting up with Junior. Because I know it wasn't easy. To you boys, I'm having the pleasure of meeting you today. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you did for my brother. And I apologize for his craziness, but you girls, Ryan, Kaliska, I just met you. Beautiful girls. I have one daughter, 3 granddaughters, so you're in that group because there's too many boys in our family, so you're special. Steny, you're my sister from another mother. I thank you for coming, making this trip. Like, I thank all of you. But please hold the ones you love dearly and tell them every day you love them. And make sure that you get home safe, but keep God in your heart Because, yeah, Junior said all that, but he loved God. He had God in his heart. There's different ways. And when you show by helping another person, that's God's work in your own way. So thank you again, and forgive me for kind of rambling, but I love my brother and his heart. Thank you.
I don't know how to follow that with Adamis' sister, because I know how much he loved his family. Anybody that was friends with him, you can pull it up, okay, would know that he loved certain things. Is his family and the Dolphins, I'm afraid. So but I want y'all to say something with me in honor of him. Can everyone repeat this? Ka, ka. Ka-ka. All right, picture this. Thursday nights, late night, 3505 Hamilton Mill Drive, back patio. It was going down. 9:30, 9 o'clock. Me, Adamis, my brother, and my husband. We would sit out on the back porch and drink and tell stories about our work life and life until we got excited enough to holler, "Caw-caw!" in the middle of the night in the neighborhood to wake up the rest of the world, okay? Adamis was a part of my heart. He was my next door neighbor, and the first time I met him, he was saying how, damn. I said, what? He said, I was hoping I was getting a lesbian couple next door, so I'm sorry, this is not really a church, though, is it? So, what? Okay. All right, sorry, Lord. You know. Okay. He was so funny that you could not help but love this man. He was charming. He was vivacious. And then when I found out we had the same birthday, yeah. And we often celebrated together, or we made sure we always acknowledged each other. One of the last times I celebrated with him, we went out to Perry's Steakhouse. And I swear we ordered everything on the menu like we was millionaires. Yeah, because my brother was over there. We only live once, come on. Yeah, when I got that $1,000 bill, I was like, listen. But that's okay, he had a good job and so do I. So we knocked it out. But that was my man. And whenever I wanted to have a great time, I sought him out. And whenever I had a big problem, he would always come to the rescue. He was almost automatically like he loved you and then you had to lose it. You know what I'm saying? He was all in with you and there was no in between. And I kind of love people the same way, so we immediately connected. He was such a good uncle to my boys. My two that I'm sitting with over here, they were little when we moved in, and I feel like he taught them so many things that their daddy didn't, you know? Not to put the daddy down, I'm just saying he had a lot of time and poured a lot into them with football and life and just doing things. And so I can't thank him enough for how much he not only cared for me, but how much he was a good friend to my husband and a great uncle to my boys. And to Donna, who is the woman and my best friend, I know how much you love this man, and I love you for loving this man because you gave him 2 beautiful children. And that Adamis Jr. was always a little something. But that Aiden was my first boyfriend. When Aiden came home from the hospital, let me just say this. He put his hand right down my shirt. And I said, ooh, he in love already. That's how me and Aiden started, and we still in love. I love you guys. Love you guys. And because I love your father, I will always be your auntie. And I love y'all, and I'm be praying for the best for you. He was a big personality. And Sylvia, I love you, and I love your children, and I love how you loved my brother. It was such beautiful to see how happy he was. And that just made us all come together. And so thank you for the few minutes to talk about him. And the last thing I'm going to leave y'all with is, caw-caw.
My name is Harry. I'm one of those Afro-Mission, I guess, adopted nephews. I don't remember my first time meeting Adam because I probably was so young. I remember us moving into the neighborhood and me being about 11, and eventually him just being in the house. Don't remember ever seeing him as a neighbor, but him eventually being in the house and him and my dad joking around and having fun. My dad never had any friends because he was a very singular person. So for someone to come into his life and be his friend, that person has to be very, very driven, you know? Has to be very, very persistent. And that's what Adam was. And even though he didn't know me, he saw something in me that I feel like he felt was like himself. And he would constantly just be there for me. I hear you, Aiden, talk about when you go through things, how your mom was that person. I went through a lot growing up. Your dad was that person for me. Anytime there was something going on in my house so I couldn't stay there, he let me stay with him. He let me stay with y'all. That's why I was there so much sometimes. Because he just didn't want me to fail. And there's so many people that I feel like he just didn't want them to fail. And he saw that I saw myself like that. And he didn't want me to be like that. He wanted me to be a fighter just like he was. That's why he taught me how to fight just like he taught y'all how to fight. He would have me right there in that garage beating that bag over and over again, saying, hit it again, hit it again. He would wrestle with me while I was in my high school wrestling, trying to get better. He was the main one that was helping me try to get better because he knew my dad wasn't there. He knew my dad had to work all the time. So I just appreciate y'all so much, all of y'all, not just him, all of y'all. Y'all, especially in this world where we can't barely even make connections. Y'all were family and still are. So I appreciate your father so much for the love, like everyone has said, that he poured into me, because I still feel it. So thank you.
All right, I'm gonna be quick. I'm again one of the aforementioned children that live next door, the adopted nephew, and I'm doing a good job of trying to keep it together, because, like my brother and my mom have come here already said, he was much more than a neighbor, much more than a friend, much more than a mentor. I mean, like my brother said, when he saw potential in people, he literally poured and poured and poured until he had nothing left. And I will forever appreciate that man for what he did for me. To tell a story, just to kind of symbolize what I'm talking about, he knew I wanted to try to play college football. He knew it was a massive goal of mine, so he went out and bought equipment and filled his garage as an in-home gym. Next door, in-home gym, and said, hey, we're training every day after school. I said, Adamis, I left that school. He said, I don't care, we're training again. We're going to go again, every day. I'm like, I did squats earlier. Like, no, we're gonna do it again. He timed me we'd run 40s in the street, and he just timed me over and over again and again and again, because he just saw the potential in people, and he loved people so much that he just wanted to give them everything that he had so that they could do with the things that they wanted to do in life, or the things that he saw in them to be able to do in life. And so to everyone in here, man, I know he's like, man, why are you guys wasting your tears? Why are you crying? He'd probably call us putos, right? And in every conversation, I talked to him. Unfortunately, you guys are supposed to come down and visit us last year, and and he never talked about what he was dealing with, but it was always something. But anytime we talked, it was light, it was airy, it was love, it was peace, it was happiness. And he'd always end it with, fuck you, puto. Right? Every conversation. But I just wanted to put that out there, man. I'm so happy that you were in my life. I'm so proud of you and the things that you were able to accomplish with the people in this room, man. He would always tell us how proud of the boys and how proud of you guys he was, and how proud of JR and me and the things that we were able to do. I'm so proud of you, Adamis, right? For being able to touch every freaking person that's in this room, to be here today to honor his life. And that's what we're doing. I know it's sad, but we're honoring a man's life and the greatness that he was able to pour into every single person in this room. And for that, I'm thankful.
I didn't think I'd have to be up here so soon. Hi, Sylvia. Adamis was there for me when my husband passed 3 years ago, and reached out with you and the family and the boys, bringing you guys over to my robotics camp at MetLife. He would come into work and say, "Morning, boss lady, how you doing?" Not Sandra, not, Miss Ortega, no formalities. It was always boss lady. He had a huge personality, and he brought it to work and brought his whole self to work every day. It was amazing to see the light that he brought into the room when he walked into the room, made everybody feel at home, made everybody feel like friends, made us feel like brothers and sisters in the office. And thank you, Adamis, for allowing me to be my whole self and help me bring my whole self to the office, too. He'd come in Monday morning and tell me about the stories of what you guys did that weekend, going hunting, going fishing, taking the Jeep out and getting it stuck in the mud. There was always something. There was always something. But he lived life to the fullest with you all and took you along with him for the ride. Told us how much he loved us, too, every day. And we appreciate him for that with all of our hearts. And my heart goes out to you and your family. If I've been there, it's not easy. And the road, whether it's easy or long, no matter what, just be patient. We love you, and we love your family, both of you guys. I'd hear so many stories about Adamis Jr. as well. He was always excited about you coming in to town to spend the summer with him or hang out for however long you could. Ashton, you too, he was always excited to drive up to New Jersey to go pick you up. And I never got a chance to meet you guys in person, so, I apologize. But I heard so many stories about you guys, and he was always so proud of you, proud of what you did, how hard you tried, how much you tried to do good for yourselves, and how independent you were. And he was always very proud of you for that. And always excited to help you guys through school and cheer you on with every way he possibly could and be there for you all. So thank you for allowing him to come to work at MetLife and work with us and share half of his life with us. We appreciate him, and we're going to miss him. Thank you.
I was debating on coming up here, but thinking back on it, I met him when I was, 5, 4, and the first time I ever met him, the first time I ever met him, I was playing some game in the living room of our house. And I don't know why, but it was just an instant click. I felt the love from him. And then I met the boys. I'm trying to get my thoughts together, but I'm skipping around. But one of the biggest life lessons he ever taught me was actions speak louder than words. It was, when we were younger, that was his biggest saying besides, "Fuck you, puto." And I'll never forget it. I think it was one of the first days before going to jiu-jitsu practice so much, but said something about wanting to be able to protect my mom and my brother. And he said, well, you got to learn how to fight if you're going to be able to do that. And I said, okay. And jiu-jitsu, I sucked at it. But I was horrible. But he never gave up on me. We always, all of us, Damien, Aiden, little Adamis, we'd always fight just to get better, whether it was jiu-jitsu or just straight up boxing each other out in the front yards. But it was always fun. This last time I was up here this past summer, I had figured out sort of what I wanted to do with my life, which is cook. And he's like, okay. And said that he was going to try out some of my food. And so I cooked quite a few things throughout the summer. And he was like, why don't you just move back up here? We'll build you a little kitchen out in the backyard and a shed, and we'll get you everything you need. We'll get you everything. And he poured so much into me with being there. He loved my mom, and that is one thing I'll forever be grateful for, is what he'd given her. He gave her everything. And every time I come up here, it's always talking about football. He always loved the U. God, I hate that team so much. But every time I'd come up here, we'd argue back and forth, who's better, Alabama or the U? And he never let me win that argument. He'd always pull up one of their teams that just so happened to be better than Alabama at the time. He talked about football whenever I was playing, which he always, let's go sign you up for some camps. You can come up here during the summer and work out with me. Go up to some camps. I'll come down there and train you even. And I always told him, no, I don't want to. He's like, you can go D1. No, it's not my thing. But I just want to go back to the actions speak louder than words. That is, I was debating on coming up here. I didn't know what I was going to say. But I know he loved y'all. He loved my mom. I know he loved everybody in this room, because y'all wouldn't be right here right now if he didn't. And I hope that he taught y'all as much as he taught me about being a man. Yeah. Thank you.
I didn't realize how many people showed up. I said my piece. I just want to say thank you to everyone else that did come, and for everyone that said something about my dad. I forgot about some of those memories, so hearing them felt nice. Again, thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you for showering us with love, because we need it more than ever now. But that's it. Me and Aiden also, Sylvia, I'm sure as well, the boys would love to hear any stories you got. I'm sure you got a lot. That's it. Thank you, guys.
So it's been stated, and I just want to reiterate, as on behalf of Renaissance and myself, the funeral director here, just how thankful we are for everybody who came today and has poured out so much love for this family. I did not know Adamis. I did not know the family, of course, until my interaction with them here. But one thing I've learned as a funeral director in watching these ceremonies is that sometimes it seems like the souls who shined the brightest light on those around them were fighting the darkest demons. And I think that that might have been true for Adamis, but I see that You guys are just this shining testament of the immense capability that he had for love and for giving and for encouragement. And I know that he got that back from you as he saw you all blossom under his tutelage and under his, maybe torture is the right word, I don't know. But either way. So friends, please, you don't need to rush out of this space. This is the official end of the service, but hang out here, give each other more love, keep telling stories, have some coffee, have a mutilated dolphin candy, but please just be comfortable and take your time, and then please travel safely when you do dismiss. Thank you again for being here.